Hey, welcome to the episode number 12 of Culture Digger. Today we're discussing extra impressive piece of music of the 20th century that really matters. Let's start. I've missed you so much, dear listeners, dear microphone. I'm starting one more episode, and I would like to remember that Culture Digger is the podcast about cultural phenomena, architecture and design, decade reviews, and many other interesting stuff. I'm the only host of Culture Digger, and my name is Sandy Reeves. Today we're talking about Emin Break. What it was? Why am I talking about it? I would like to start with something so far from this topic. How many times have you heard some breakbeat in dance or hip hop music? I think that you do not have any exact answer. You just have a concept in your head about the sound of these musical genres, about some hits, and etc. And how often have you met something like breakbeat in other genres? You know, some pieces of upbeat, breakbeat, of this type of drum beat you can find in funk, in soul, maybe in jazz, experimental type of jazz, in fusion, for example, in pop music, in rock music. You can find it to the beginning of the century 21. You can find it nearly anywhere. And what if I tell you that everything began with one song by one band from 1969? Maybe you know about this fact, maybe you don't, but still, that's a great musical treasure, especially in modern days when we know exactly what happened in 80s, in 90s, and in 2000s with electronic music, hip-hop, with rock music, with pop music. We have an opportunity to listen to these dozens, hundreds, thousands of tracks, and there is such a song, a sample that was made from this song is reproduced in nearly 1,500 or 2,000 songs to our days. Just imagine this crazy crowd of people producing music that are running some one festival. All these people that used the sample from one song are going to the stage one after another, and the drummer stays on the stage. The picture of it is pretty surrealistic, but that's the truth about a main break. A main break is a kind of drum break that was made in 1969 by the band Winstons, and the name of this drummer is Gregory Coleman. That's an interesting story. In 1969, this band produced one single that was named Color Him Father. They had to fill the vinyl, its B-side, with some composition, and they recorded this. Amen Brother is a composition without words. It's something like an intensive funk. As it was told by band members, they used to fill the timeline of this song with some improvisations, with some pieces of music with different instruments, and Gregory Coleman performs a 4-bar drum break nearly after 1 minute and 26 seconds after the start of this composition, and it sounds really incredible. At the moment of the publishing this vinyl, nobody really cares about this song too much, and nobody wants to use it in their own goals, because we do not have sampling in that days. If you do not understand clearly what is sampling, sampling is such a technology when you can record some source of sound, or you can take any musical composition, any track, you can take some short piece of it and repeat it too many times as you need to make your music sounding well. Let's try to make something right now to give you an example. Right now I had a sample of scratch, a sample of keys, and now we have some sample of upbeat in funk manner. As you can listen to, it is really similar to any hip-hop track, Yes, one more funky break. And now it became clear what can I do with all these samples if I want to make a hip-hop track. But there was no classical hip-hop of the golden age of 90s. In 80s, it was another hip-hop with synthesizers like Africa Bambaataa tracks. What if I want to make dance music with it? How can I use it? Okay, let's try. We just have to push some tempo to this. Let's start. And now I hear some wave from Django from 90s raves, yeah? Do you have the same wave? I think you have. Let's rave. Yeah, let's rave in podcast. That was original. Raves, yeah? Raves, yeah? Raves, yeah? Raves, yeah? I know what means your applause. You mean, get out of here, stop this nonsense, please stop. I stopped, okay, I stopped, I continue my tale, okay. And after all my nonsense, I continue about sampling. The mid of 80s was the age when sampling machines came to market and DJs used them, as well as their turntables, to scratch, to mix the songs, and so on. And what about copyright? We're all in copyright nowadays, but in 80s, the creator of this beat got nothing until his death. Unfortunately, he didn't get any royalties for his amazing beat. You can listen to it in Wikipedia. I'll put the link. I do not want to be one of those people who used his amazing masterpiece without his permission, without any royalties. And the reason for this is there must be some end for this. Too many musicians used his job for their success, and even big stars like Oasis or David Bowie or Slipknot used this sample. And the phenomena of the usage of this wonderful sample is nearly scientifically measured by enthusiasts from the site whosampled.com. According to one wonderful article named "It Only Takes 6 Seconds to Hear the World's Most Sampled Song," we can find really amazing data. 1,984 tracks in electronic or dance musical genre, 127 tracks in hip-hop and R&B, 57 tracks in rock and pop music, 44 times in soundtrack, and maybe Futurama theme is in this list, and other 20 items. They have some wonderful diagram. I don't know how can we use it, but it looks so clear and amazing to this fact. This website has also kind of a rating of the usage of samples from 10 different songs, and Amen Brother is on top of this list with full amount of times sampled, 2,239. That's incredible number. Can you imagine 2020 different songs that are using the same beat? And the truth is that the popularity of this sample comes in 1986, when the compilation of old funk and soul tracks named Ultimate Breaks and Beats was published, and it was something like a tool for the DJs of that time. And we can look at this situation from the different side. Can you imagine that one person gave the vector for a couple a bunch of musical genres for hundreds of musicians. He inspired them to create something completely different, something new to ears of anyone modern in that days, in 90s, in late 80s. I think it's gonna be correct if we respect anyone who created something big for our culture, for music that we like so much, for some special musical genre that you personally prefer. Just know something about personalities that created something completely different, that were vectors for another people. Because when you're interested in these details, you learn to respect all these small pieces of any production. You start to respect any small pieces of interaction of the job made by other people. After all this experience, you just can measure another way your own work. You understand that it can be really hard and difficult, and the most difficult is to make some great example for another people, not only to make your job done. The story of today is bright and controversial. It has some extremely sad facts, like the destiny of Richard Colson. He died homeless in 2006. It's absolutely sad information about such a great person for the music of the 20th century. And the happy moment of today's discussion is that for another member of the Winstons musical band, for its leader, for Richard Spencer, the destiny became brighter. In 2015, two British DJs, Martin Webster and Steve Thalbot, raised nearly £24,000 or $37,000 for Richard Spencer. They wanted to pay respect and to bring back some prize that no one ever paid, some attention to person that many people didn't know till 2015. Dozens of DJs and music composers, they just used this sample without knowing any names, anything. Just few seconds of some perfection that you can put into your dance track and forget about anything else. Just in a way in which I composed 2 or 3 dumb melodies today with samples. I definitely want you to turn on this sample. Open any link in description to this episode. Listen to Amen Break because it's so recognizable. You listened to this too many times in your life. You didn't know what is it, just some dance music and so on. Different music was created and based by one person, and he made it through the decades in 1969. How can we not recognize such a historical beauty of our culture, of one of the greatest centuries in our history, the 20th? Many thanks to everyone here. Listen to my show, subscribe, and give me any comments. Anything, any interaction is so welcome. Have a nice day, and I hope I'll have it. Bye. Raves, yeah?